Welcome to the Vegas Check-In. I'm Michael Movestro. The Vegas Check-In is a program where we check in on Las Vegas bloggers, podcasters, and visitors to gauge their thoughts on the present circumstances in Las Vegas. Joining me today is my friend NeonVacation of the NeonVacation YouTube channel. NeonVacation, welcome to the Vegas Check-In.
How are you doing, Michael?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
All right. Thanks for being here. We had a bit of a scheduling kind of a thing about time zones, and we got it all worked out. Luckily, you're a night owl, so this is prime for you.
Most definitely. Yeah, I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, midnight your time, 10 p.m. mine. Vegas has just reopened over the weekend. I saw some video footage of it, and it's a bit scary. But before we talk about that, let's talk about you. Your personal history with Las Vegas spans many years as a visitor. So you used to live there, you moved away, and at some point you became a visitor to it. For now, I was born and raised in New York City, moved out of New York a few years ago. If I visit now, I have a different perspective of New York City.
Right.
I appreciate it as a visitor more than the things I remember about living there. Do you find that when you go back, you have like a new appreciation for everything? Like when you're growing up, I'm sure it was limited how you could enjoy Las Vegas, when you were in high school, before you turned 21, stuff like that. And when you go there now, is it more of a because you have your roots there, or is it, you just love that city?
Now it's just love, pure love for the city. I've had family there for almost, since the late 80s. And I think it's just the love for the city, the love for the action. Even if I didn't have family there, I would still visit. Obviously, I started a website just because of how much I loved Las Vegas.
Actually, I'm getting to that. Back in the day, you'd started a blog. It was called NeonVacation. It's a website. You had a blog section as well. And from there, you moved on to YouTube. And I understand the experience personally because I did Vegas Bright, and then I stopped doing Vegas Bright for a bit. And then I'm doing the YouTube thing now. But for our viewers, what was the moment like when you realized that video was the direction that you wanted to go in?
It hasn't been that long ago, so it was it's pretty fresh in my mind. Where I remember sitting around and watching a lot of the popular vloggers that I watch on YouTube, and I have a page on my website called the media page.
Yeah,
with all the podcasts and vloggers and YouTube pages and anything to do with getting social media through online. So I realized YouTube was getting really big. YouTube videos and bloggers and everything were taking over the internet. They were taking over websites, and websites were kind of getting pushed out. So I stopped paying so much attention to the website, and I started the YouTube page. And I'm horrible at it, but I'm trying, and I'm growing it.
Recently, you went to Deadwood Casino in Deadwood, South Dakota. They were amongst the first casinos to open in the U.S., and this was before some Vegas casinos opened. And for those who haven't seen that video, what was the experience like with the COVID-19 measurements in place?
360 degrees from the first time I was in Deadwood. It was just a different world. They did a really good job, though. I run a hotel, so I stayed at one of our, you want to call it one of our branded hotels, and I was kind of there to see. I wanted to stay there for two reasons: one, to see how they did their protective measures, and two, to have fun. But I thought the hotels could have done a lot better job. The casinos, I thought, did a really good job. I brought back a ton of ideas that I was hoping I would see Vegas implement. And I think a lot of the stuff that I noted while I was there, I've seen. I haven't been to Vegas yet, but I have seen through pictures and articles about the new reopening, I should say, of Vegas. I think hotels could have done a little bit better, just because I've seen working here, steps taken to prevent the spread of COVID way better than Deadwood. I don't think the people coming into Deadwood cared too much. I think it was more the workers that cared about, getting themselves either sick or getting guests sick.
Yeah, because the thing is with these cloth masks, they're not medical grade, right? So the ones that people are buying online or whatever, they're not medical grade. And from what the CDC says, that when we wear a mask that is not medical grade, it isn't really to protect us, but it's more to help protect other people. Because if we sneeze or if we cough, it helps to contain it to the same to that person. But the thing is, when as a casino employee, you're being told to wear a mask, but that mask is not helping them. The customers are coming in, patrons are coming in, eager to gamble, eager to eat and do other things that they do. Many of them not wearing masks at all, putting the casino employees at risk. So there's this video that has been circulating around Twitter. It comes from the Cosmopolitan. This was opening night. I'm going to get it right here on the screen. And when you look at it, you can see it looks like regular good old Cosmopolitan. If you start trying to count masks, you'll drive yourself mad. Because I believe that in this entire crowd, not including the dealers, were employees who have to wear them. It was made optional to wear masks here. Yeah. And obviously nobody really wants to do it. And this entire 2-minute video, I saw 3 people wearing masks. One person wore it correctly. And this is the scene. This is This is like a typical Friday night at the Cosmopolitan. And it's man, I think this thing is going to spread a lot. Look at all these people. One person with a mask. This person has it below their nose. And it's just, there's a scene where people right here are waiting in line to get a haircut, and everyone's just sort of grouped together, standing there. It's crazy, man. Yeah. It's crazy. Like what, when you see that, like what goes through your mind when you look at that crowd?
Well, I guess it is up to the casino how they want to run it. I think what's going to hurt people is their lack of common sense. I mean, it's just common sense would be, everybody take the most precautions you can. If it was up to me, I think I would make it not mandatory. I think I would make it, make it a necessity to wear one. I don't know how far you can do that legally, but I would try pretty hard.
So another question for you. As Vegas has started to reopen, when you're going back, what do you think are some of the things that you're going to be doing differently? Just, being a person with common sense, what do you think there are some things that you're going to be doing differently when you're out about on Fremont Street or on the Strip in response to everything that's going on?
So I've already seen a few live streams. I've seen some slot polls already. I've seen lots of group videos. Yeah. And one thing I notice a lot is people do have masks. People aren't wearing them most of the time, but they will wear them when they're around other people, but they won't wear them when they're around like people they know. Like if I was around you and a bunch of 5 or 6 guys, like we'd all be talking and not wearing our masks. I guess that's your prerogative, but I mean, I'm sure everybody I know is safe, and if they weren't, they would say something, or if they didn't feel good, they would say something. But some people aren't. Some people won't do that. Some people that I've talked to, like every day of the week, will say, "Well, I've got a fever, or I've got aches, or I've got this, but I'm going to wait until I have all the symptoms, whatever they can do."
Right.
Wait till
you have all the symptoms first.
Exactly. Yeah. I will have masks. I will have some form of hand protection, I'm pretty sure. Not saying that I'm always going to use it. Obviously, I'm going to have sanitizer with me at all times. I will try all the precautionary new things that they come up with, but I know I will have masks, and I will have double masks, and I will have a third mask in my back pocket, just because that's a big thing. People always, I lost it, or it broke, or the cheap ones, the snaps, whatever.
Yeah.
Just stay safe. I'm interested in buying masks from some places. I saw a really nice Bellagio mask on one of their executives on an interview. I thought that was pretty neat. I wouldn't mind one of those. Just, it's going to be a new thing. It's like people are going to want to wear their favorite casino's masks, and I just want to wear. I just want to be there, protected in my favorite city, without the dumbass next to me coughing on me, or coming up to me to hang out and hug me, and I don't want that. So I'll take all the precautions I usually do. I'm just gonna like I do everywhere I go. I think that's all we can really do right now.
Yeah, man, I will wear any casino's mask as long as it lights up. If it lights up, I'm sold. I don't, if it can, like, if it's a flamingo mask and I can hit a button and it just like lights up one letter at a time, like flamingo, I'll do it. If they can light these things up, that'd be great. I would absolutely.
I've seen showgirls in the bedazzled, glitzy, glamorous masks. Those are great. It's just it's a new part of your athletic wear, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So I want to do a new a segment here on the Vegas check-in that helps us get to know our guests even better. So it's a new feature. I like to call it Favorite Things. And basically it's going to be your favorite Vegas things and a couple of things that are your least favorite. But question number 1 on this: what is your favorite hotel and casino on the Strip?
Wow. If you would have asked me a couple years ago, I would have said Bellagio for sure, 100%. And I still love the Bellagio, 100%. But I think it has moved to the Wynn. Right. I love the Wynn. I'm not a Steve Wynn fan, so I don't need to hear that from people, but I am a huge Wynn Properties fan. The customer service is amazing. I just got off the phone last night with who I consider my host, my slots. I forgot what his real term is called, but he's my guy that I call, Christopher, and he hooked me up with my next 3 nights for free with a bunch of free plan stuff. But it's not just that, it's the way they do it. It's like they really, really seem to care about the guest. And I think they were like one of the first casino/hotels to implement a lot of the high-tech thermometers when you walk in. The what do you call that? They scan your forehead.
Yeah, the thermal scanners.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, the ones on Fremont, it looks like a metal detector, but when you walk through it, you put your wrist on there and it takes your temperature from your wrist.
Too. So, and I just like, I love the throwback feeling when you're inside the casino, but I love the look of it because it still has that brand new kind of look and smell to it when you're in there. But that's probably my favorite right now, I would have to say.
All right. And same question, but what is your favorite hotel casino downtown?
Again, some people don't like this answer, but I'm an old school guy. I love all the old divey places. And when people think downtown, they think divey. I love the El Cortez, probably my favorite property. But I think for staying and being right there on top of all the action would be the Four Queens.
All right. Haven't stayed there, so I wouldn't know. I know someone who stayed at Fremont. Pennies for Vegas to stay at Fremont. It was amazing because he was like right there, he was right there on Fremont. You saw like the red lights shining into like his room, like on his face. It was just like, man, I don't know. I stayed at the Plaza. I kind of like a somewhat of a distance from Fremont, where I'm going to sleep for the night. I might try downtown Grand next, though I hear they're not kind to vloggers, so I probably won't.
Really? I didn't know that. Yeah. I do like things. The Plaza. The Plaza is awesome. By the way, I love Mark. Mark is one of my favorite people on YouTube right now. One of my favorite all around Vegas characters. He's so genuinely real about his trips, about how he plays, about the food he eats. I love Mark. He's such a cool dude. I got a chance to meet him a couple trips ago, and he's such a cool guy.
Yeah, but, I was supposed to meet him when I was there in March, but everything was unraveling, and so the Canadian border was getting closed and all that, and he couldn't make it out there. But hopefully next time.
I look forward to meeting him too.
Yeah, he's a good guy. You did a vlog. Actually, I'm going to throw this in here now. It just came to my mind. You did a vlog where you visited grave sites.
Yes.
Famous Vegas grave sites. I saw the video, but why don't you tell our viewers who you went to see?
Palm Cemetery. It's about 20 minutes from downtown. I actually took a lift out there, and I just wanted to. The funny thing is, I had a new camera too, and I couldn't get it to work right, so I just used my GoPro. But I just went out there to check out some of the famous burials, sites. And Stu Unger's the reason I went out there. But while I was out there, I realized who all was buried out there. It's like Mo Dalitz is buried out there. Red Fox is buried out there. Now it's going to skip my mind, but there's like 5 or 6 big, when you think of Vegas, you think of these people. And I didn't know that until I went in. They actually have like a little info area inside the cemetery. It's a huge, like they almost have like a gift shop. That's how big this place is. So I went in there and the lady gave me a map and she pointed out where I could find Stu Unger's. And she's like, is that the only one you're looking for? And I'm like, do people do this a lot? And she's like, oh yeah. She goes, there's like a map of all the stars, if you will, plots. And I'm like, oh, I'll take one. But it was getting dark, so I had to rush. Yeah. So I hit about 4 or 5 of them real quick and took some video. It is definitely a thing I will do again.
What is your favorite drinking spot, strip or downtown, your choice? What is your favorite drinking spot in Vegas?
Wow, that's a tough one. There's a few. And again, a couple years ago, I probably would have gave you the weird canned answer that it's just, the D bar, the long bar, or something like that. But when I'm downtown, there's a spot inside Binion's. It's one of the old bars inside, and I have a friend, Pete, who bartends there. Play some video poker, tip him $1, drink Budweiser's all night long. One of those, that's probably one of my favorite places. If you're talking outside of a casino, it's probably Hogs and Heifers. That is an amazing biker bar, themed bar. Very fun, very loud. If I'm on the strip, it's probably going to be like I like the Flamingo Bird Bar.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many. That's really a tough question. I'll tell you what the best answer to that, or the best reply to that question would be. There isn't one at all, but it's just whatever that night, whatever you fall into that night, whatever you're feeling, like Stage Door. Love Stage Door. It's a great bar. Everybody loves Stage Door now. I don't know why, but I mean, it's a great bar. It's super cheap. You got to walk there, and it's kind of a crazy crowd. But I mean, places like that are they're super popular for God knows why. But they're just, if you're in that mood that night for $1 beer and $1 hot dog or $1.50 hot dog, then stop in there and you'll have the best time ever. Just off the cuff, I can think of so many local bars that I've been to. Dino's is right behind the Stratosphere, worst neighborhood in all of Las Vegas. But if you're in the mood and you want to go for karaoke or whatever they're doing that night, it's probably one of the coolest local bars there is. It's whatever you feel like, I think, and you'll find the right place.
Yeah, there are a bunch of places. I agree. Wherever you end up, sometimes you just sometimes it's where you don't know where you're going to end up. When you do end up there, you're like, man, this place is awesome. Like you and I ended up at a Prohibition bar.
I was just going to say that. You know how much history is behind that bar? That's awesome. That bar is so fun and so cool. And we probably sat in the same seats, around the plaque area where the Rat Pack used to stay, that they say, But even when you're there, I've spent time in that bar, a lot of time in that bar, where I've ran into a lot of weird people in that bar, but people with Vegas history behind them and just stories. I mean, you could sit there all night and just talk to people. That's the fun about Vegas. That's the fun about just finding whatever bar you think would be fun at the moment.
Yeah, I really like that bar, and was playing video poker. And I remember we were there. I think Zorkfest was going on.
Yes.
I remember Shane.
Yes.
Shane and Julian
Yeah.
were there from Vegas Confessions. And I remember like Shane was like, "Oh man, you got to check out this bar. There's a lot of
Shane's
history."
another guy.
And
Shane's a historian through and through. He's such a cool Vegas advocate, and he's not like a big Vegasy gambler, drinker, partier guy. He just likes Vegas because of the crazy stuff that happens there. And he's another guy that I adore those kind of people that love Vegas that much that they like to like express it. Like, oh man, thanks for coming here, or oh I can't believe I got to show you this in Vegas or whatever. And that to me, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Let's see. We talked about drinks. Let's talk about some food. What's your favorite place to eat in Vegas?
Oh my God. These are so hard. You know how many restaurants there are?
I ask the serious questions.
Yes. Okay. We'll have to break it up. Local place. I can't even break it up like that, but I like an off-strip place called Casa de Amore. That's an amazing Italian restaurant in Sahara.
I know the place. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. I saw it in it was a Hagen 2 cent video. They went over there.
Yes.
They tried out the meatballs.
Yes. That place is amazing.
Yeah.
I like another local favorite that's been around forever called Chicago Joe's. That's between downtown and the Strip, behind Stratosphere also. Now on the Strip, geez. I'm kind of a burger guy if I'm going to just grab a quick meal, or a hot dog guy, and I love Dirt Dog. I love all the cool hot dog places. There's a burger place called Strip Burger. Okay. It's at the mall. It's got great people watching. It's got great outdoor seats. Major places, steak places is kind of my thing. I love all the steak places. I like, what's really good? A good hidden gem is a place. Well, and again, it depends on what kind of mood you're in. It depends on who you're with. It depends on what you're looking for. I like Vince Neal's at Circus Circus.
Okay.
I was thinking Circus Circus has a great steakhouse, and I love that steakhouse. Probably one of my favorite steakhouses on the Strip, actually. But they have a little place, Vince Neal, or he actually doesn't own it. I've just found this out recently from someone who didn't have such a great time there. But there's a place called Vince Neal's. I can't pronounce it, Tatiwada or something like that.
Tatiata, yeah.
Yep. And there used to be one at the Westgate before. I think it was the Westgate, when it was the Hilton still maybe. But anyway, they got great burgers. They got music all the time. They've got a big open area, and they got Motley Crue stuff everywhere. I'm kind of a big Motley Crue fan also. So I like that place. Anything new that's popping up, it's almost impossible to try everything. There's still things that I've never tried. Some places that have opened and they've closed, or they've been open for 3 or 4 years and they're closing, and I haven't tried them yet. But I think I tend to gravitate towards MGM restaurants more, their properties, I should say. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that is, but I feel that way. But I know what's his name? Gordon Ramsay's. Not Hell's Kitchen, but he's got a little tiny fish place, fish and chips or something like that.
Yeah, Lake Promenade. Yeah,
that's really good. That's really good. The places in the Promenade, all those places are really good. Brooklyn Bowl, they got great food. Doesn't seem like they would, but they really do. But yeah, that's a topic I could probably talk on for a long time, so I'll cut myself off there. But
so I'm guessing that many places is your favorite place to eat.
I don't miss very many meals when I'm in Vegas, that's for sure.
So this one should be an easy one. So everyone has a Las Vegas tradition. That there's this one thing in particular that they have to do when they're in Vegas. What is that one thing you have to do when you're in Vegas?
Well, I don't know if I have to do it, but I always tend to do it. There's always one night that I'm up all night long, gambling at a bar, video poker. But one thing that I have to do is probably see the fountain show. I don't think I've missed a show ever on a trip. One thing I have to do.
Hog of Hagen 2 cent is probably having a little tantrum to himself right now when he's watching this. He's not a fan of the fountains
I don't know why people wouldn't be a fan of the fountains. They're so unique. They're so fun.
Because in his view, it replaced the dunes, and he really liked the dunes and the history of the dunes. So I think he sees, where the Bellagio fountain is now is the footprint of the dunes pretty much. So okay. I think he's just like, the fountains replaced. It was like, it's kind of like that song, I forget who said it, something, you pave paradise and put up a parking lot. So I think to him it's like you tore down the dunes and put up a fountain. He should be pissed at Steve Wynn, though. He shouldn't be really pissed at the fountains. They're beautiful.
I pretty much would do that every trip, but something that is no longer there, obviously, if you want to talk about tradition, would be the Stardust. Mm-hmm. So before the Stardust was torn down, I would always spend one evening, me and a friend, or whoever I was with, really, or just me solo. There was a radio show that they did every night in the Stardust, and every trip I would have to see that show on one of the nights I was there. I think it might have been Sundays was the night that I always picked, but it was like a handicapping show. They talked about sports betting, and it was just so cool to see the crazy characters in there. And that sports book at the Stardust was the most amazing sports book. Basically started all the sports books, and just one thing that I would always do: grab a hot dog, listen to the show.
Was this Lefty Rosenthal's?
It was, yeah.
Oh, yep. Okay. Oh, wow! So you saw the man in action?
Oh, not his show. No, that I was going to say that was the casino that he was running. The man that ran the man that ran the show. The show was a radio show, so it was on the radio, and I would pick it up at home here in Minnesota. I would pick it up on the internet, actually, on a channel that they streamed over the internet. Even back in those days, it was kind of strange, but on KDWN, it was called the Las Vegas Flamethrower, is what they called it. But anyway, I would love that show just because it probably, I think it started at 10 o'clock Vegas time.
Yeah.
So it was like super late at night, and all the guys were already half in the bag, and they're trying to talk sports and how to bet on sports. I was a big sports gambler back in the day, and I just was drawn to the Stardust.
Why the hell would they call it listen, I used to work in radio. I've heard all the things that radio stations can refer to themselves as in slogans. Today's best rock, things like that. Tear off the knob, like I turn the knob all the way up and tear it off, and where music lives, and all the Vegas Flamethrower.
Well, it was K-Dawn, and it was like 50,000 watt radio, so they called it like the Flamethrower. So it was just one of those things that nobody's listening. It was like me and two other people probably, but it was. I mean, it reached so far. It was ridiculous. So
5,000 watts, 5 listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
KDWN, the Vegas Flamethrower, 5,000 watts. Yeah, that sounds.
That's Vegas. It's just a waste. Everything, Vegas is just excess. Everything is excess.
Oh my goodness. All right. What is something you would never do again? You did it once, and you will never do that shit again. What is something you would never do again in Vegas?
Just where we pause it, that I can think for a while, and then you'll edit it in. Oh boy, let's see here. I've done
just for fun. I'm going to leave this whole part in there.
Yeah, I've done a ton. It's so strange. Probably a lot of stuff I didn't like. Probably a lot of stuff I want to forget I did.
Out of all those, what comes floating to the top that you would just absolutely never do again? Even if someone went with you for the first time, I was like, oh, I want to do this. Like, what's that one thing that you're like, no, I will never do that shit again?
Well, I walked from downtown, or was it? No, I was at the Stratosphere, and I wanted to get, I don't know, I was super drunk. So I will never walk from one end of the strip to the other drunk again. You know what? I know where I was now. I was at a hotel that's owned by this, well, it's gone now, but it was owned by the same company that I work for, and it was by the Wynn on Convention Center Drive.
Yeah.
and I walked from there, and I wanted to get to Ellis Island, which ain't that far when you think about it.
Yeah.
But I went the wrong way somehow, and I ended up on. I was in the back, behind Colville, even at some place that was owned by Hugh Hefner, or I mean not Hugh Hefner, by what's his name? Oh,
Larry Flint.
No, the aviator. I'm drawing on such a blank right now. The guy that bought everything in Vegas back in the days. The airline.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Man, why am I blanking? Hugh.
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes. I almost said Hugh Downs, and I'm like, no, it's not Hugh Downs.
I ended up on Hugh Downs Boulevard. No, I ended up on Howard Hughes Boulevard, and I had no idea where I was. And it was like a pretty ritzy area, big condos and stuff. And I was just hammered, and I refused to ask anybody for directions. I was just wandering around aimlessly. Ended up in some bad areas. I remember that. It's kind of dangerous. So I don't think I don't walk very far really anymore unless I'm on the strip. I don't take those walks that I used to do. And I probably won't try any downtown buffets ever again. Actually, they're never really that good anyway. But even if they come back, I don't think I'd ever do that.
Well, it's all about choosing between the blue or the yellow, not both of them. If you mix the blue with the yellow, you get this green stuff, and it's just not good, man.
Yeah.
Just,
don't be stingy on the
yellow. When Vegas is fully reopened, like everything is open, all the casinos, all the hotels, everything is back to normal. Let's imagine it's 2021. Everybody's vaccinated. Not that people who are there now give a but nonetheless, everybody's vaccinated. You can forget the whole mask thing and all that stuff. Everything is open. Vegas is fully back to normal. What is the first 3 things you like to do when Las Vegas is fully open?
Visit the sign, of course. Visit the fountains. No. I don't. Here's what I do when I go to Vegas. I always have a plan, but I never follow it. I always have backup plans to the backup plans just in case my itinerary doesn't work out, because it never does anyway. So I don't really like to plan what I'm going to do. I just want to go and gamble all night long, stay up late, laugh with my friends, or stay up all night, laugh with my friend, whatever. I want to stay in a sleazy hotel. I like doing that for the history aspect of it, not just to do it.
You stayed in some pretty amazing places from what I've seen on your vlog. Wow.
I want to do it again, but right now I'm just a little too scared to do it. Right. I want to take a trip. I want to go see the Hoover Dam. I might want to just those things that were fun the first time, like people are like, "Ooh, we're going to Vegas. I got a checklist of 10 things we have to do," those things. I just want to do those things again, just to prove, or just to show that it's safe again, that it's Vegas again. It's Vegas still. Other than that, I don't know. I don't really have a list. I mean, a list for that particular reason. I have a list. I have a briefcase full of things that I want to do.
Right.
But just go to a nice restaurant again. Sightseeing, just all the normal stuff.
All right. And if you could talk to every Las Vegas enthusiast right now, what are some points of positivity you'd like to leave them with?
I would say Vegas is going to be fun again. It's fun. I'm sure it's fun right now, but it's going to be really fun again. It's going to be back to normal. I've always thought since this whole thing started, its comeback, I should say, not since it started, but since it started, the transformation coming back. Hotels started announcing they're being sold or they're being taken over by smaller companies. I think Vegas will be one step back, which I think is good. I think it was getting a little too big for itself anyway. So I think Vegas will be back just as fun as it was in the past. I think if you're planning a trip to Vegas, if you've never been to Vegas, if you're going back for the 100th time, don't try to make this trip better than your last trip. Just let Vegas happen. Just, whatever happens there, just let it happen.
That's something I usually say, just let Vegas happen, because a lot of people go there with a whole list of things, and it's like you miss out on things by just letting Vegas happen. So I always say, if you're going to go for like 4 days, plan some things out, but leave a day to just let Vegas happen. And
don't be mad. Like, don't be disappointed if like, oh, I'm going to meet this guy, or not. I'm going to meet somebody, and a special meetup, and we're going to have drinks, and it didn't happen. Don't be disappointed in that. Just be like, okay, well, something else must have happened that was fun, or something else got in the way. But I mean, I'm sure it was just as, something that you could talk about. It's just like you said, just let it happen. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna have stories. You're gonna have a good time. So
exactly. All right. Well, is there anything that you would like to plug?
Well, my website obviously is still out there and running. Tons of viewers. It's still doing well. I've neglected it a little bit, but go check that out. It's www.neonvacation.com. 11 years running. That's pretty long time. And I'm doing my YouTube stuff. So if you want to check out that, it's under Neon Vacation, one word, on YouTube. I appreciate every subscriber and everybody that follows me on all my social media. So.
All right, man. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciated talking to you today, man.
Thank you for the time, man.
No problem. Well, everyone, that's going to do it for this episode of the Vegas Check-In. Is there someone in particular you'd like to see on the program? Hit me up in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to this channel for more Las Vegas content. We'll see you next time. And remember, the next time you're in Vegas, stay bright and be sure to do Vegas right.